How's it going, everyone, and welcome back to another video on the channel. Today I'm going to be going over a trade that we took at the start of this week just because I thought it was a good example, and I'm also going to be going over a losing trade that we took today because I do believe it's important to show both sides of Forex, the good side and the bad side. And obviously we had a little bit of a winning streak last week, so it was pretty much guaranteed we were going to have a loser at some point. And today was the day that we had that. So I'm going to go over onto the charts now. I'm going to show you both positions that we took and just explain why I took them. If you want to know a full in-depth as to how I took them, there'll be a link to my Telegram in the description. Feel free to check that out if you want. If you don't, there is no pressure to. But yeah, hopefully you can learn something from this video, and yeah, we'll get onto the charts now. Okay, so as you can see, these were the two trades that we've taken so far this week. Now, the next trade I take, I do want to record live because I do want to do some more live trading. I think that you guys seem to enjoy it, and people do like seeing me trade live. But unfortunately, these two I just didn't record live. But I am going to explain to you what I was looking for and how I took them. Obviously, last time I think we talked about this missed setup I had in the last video, I believe. So this is where we kind of started the week off. So we had a 1 to 2 this day, and then today was a -1. So we're up 1% this week so far, which isn't too bad. Still got Thursday and Friday. I'm recording this on the Wednesday. I think you'll be seeing this on the Thursday, I'm not sure. But either way, I'm going to put the entry up for this. I did post it on my Instagram. If you do want to see that, it will be somewhere on the screen at the start or the end of the video, and feel free to check out my Instagram. I post pretty much all my entries on there. So yeah, so how did we take this trade? Well, very simply, we had this huge drop at the start of the week on Monday, and then we kind of bottomed out. Now, when price does this is normally, I wouldn't trade purely based on this, but normally, price wants to collect some of the liquidity in this area. So you can kind of expect price to buy at least a certain amount to fill, certain areas. For example, it could have come in to fill this fair value gap here, which obviously it did. But yeah, it's going to always come back and fill those areas, so you can kind of expect buys anyway. Then what we had was price bottom out, and then we actually failed to break these lows really at all. And then what we actually had, once the low failed to break, was a break of this high that kind of pushed down and made the final low here. You see, we had a big push up. Now, the first entry I was actually looking for was this area here, somewhere in these wicks, with 10 pips, like that, and then a 1 to 3, somewhere like here. 1 to 3 would have been there. So yeah, something like that was what I was looking for. We didn't get that though. The reason why I did miss that entry was because I was asleep. Don't judge, I was late. It was a late night, so so I wasn't awake for that entry. But when we saw price come up like this, I was like, okay, this is still a good sign to get into buys. And I was looking at this area here. Now, the reason why I was looking for this area was because this was the sort of the break and the tap back into the previous structure before pushing up. So this structure was now the structure I was looking for price to retest into, and as you can see, price came down and it retested perfectly into the area, and then we took the buy. Now, I do explain this more in my Telegram, why I use this sort of entry in these kind of areas versus other areas. So for example, like why I use that sort of entry there as opposed to like in this area I use it, but then certain areas like here I don't use it, or here I don't use it, or here I don't use it, here I don't use it, blah blah blah. So it does vary when you use this style of entry, and as I said, I do go into more detail on this on my Telegram about why I use this in this area. But that was basically how we took that entry. Just delete that. So we were in the buy, and I was obviously targeting, as you know probably by now if you watch the channel, a 1 to 3. So I was originally targeting up here. However, when we got to this high, which is the high I've marked out. I was looking for this to be broken, and in my plan, if the high or low can't be broken by multiple wicks, or at least 2 wicks is normally what I say, then we just take our profit and get out. So I was at around 2% profit, and we take profit on this candle here. So when price came in like this, so price came up, came into the high, and it did technically close above it, but not enough for me to consider it like a break. And then it came back down, all the way back down, which I can't lie, tested my psychology a lot. And then it pushed back up, and then it started wicking all in this area here, and that was my sign to get out. Now obviously I believe the 1-3 would have hit. Let me see. Yeah, so the 1-3 would have hit, but realistically that's a long time to be in a position. It was late in the day, I didn't want to hold over spread hour, etc, etc, and I was already up 2%, and my plan said to close, so I did, and that was why we got out in the area we got out. Now this sell here was the sell that we lost today. Basically we had this high, and we came down and it broke the low that made the previous high above this high. So you kind of get the gist now how I look at structure and how I really trade it. And as you can see, when I saw that, I was obviously like, this is a good place to sell. This was a tricky sell because there isn't really anywhere in here to get a good entry in terms of the models that I use. So what happened was when price pushed all the way up, I entered on the high, which I sometimes do because I was kind of like, if it breaks and closes above this high, then I'm just looking to get out anyway. And we were targeting just a 1-3 as normal, as you can see. Now we did get really good entry, and we didn't get stopped out by this big wick here, and it did start to fall to my take profit. However, news came out which I didn't think would be as volatile as it was, but it was, and it did take us out. As you can see, we were, you know, getting nice rejections off the area, and I was kind of hoping for it to break to the downside, but we just weren't right on this occasion. And as I said, it's important for you to see both sides of trading, the losses and the wins, the mistakes, etc., because everyone does lose and everyone does make mistakes, but thankfully we didn't get any slippage. We were just taken out for what we were risking, so can't complain about that. And now GU has just gone to the absolute moon. In terms of what do I think it's going to do, it's kind of something you'd need to look at on the higher time frame. I mean, if you look at even like the hour, you can see how we've broken these highs now, but I do think a retracement will be needed at some point to fill in those areas. So in terms of my time frame on the 15-minute, for example, what do I think for Thursday? Well, I do think it could sell down a bit to maybe this area, and if not, I reckon it could continue selling back down to here, but I don't think it will get that low. I reckon it will probably come into this area and just retrace onwards for long-term buys, but we'll have to see. As I said, we always react to the market. We don't try and predict it. There's no point trying to predict it because it's not predictable. But yeah, hopefully you've been, you know, enjoying these chart videos. I'm just trying to make more of them so you can learn. But yeah, those were the trades that we took. Thank you guys for watching. The next video will be like a more talk, sit down one. I might do another Q&A because I know you guys enjoyed the last one. And it's been a little while since I've done another one, so maybe I'll do that again. But until next time, have a good trading week, and I will see you in the next video.